Look at that. Much better. Mulch all these leaves up back here. As windy as it is, the rest of these leaves should be falling soon. Oh man, it is definitely that time of year where the leaves are falling. You wouldn't know it from the temperature, being as it's about 72 degrees out here. It feels great. Gonna do a quick video here. I was thinking about something yesterday while I was talking to a friend of mine. He was remarking how it's very difficult for him to find somebody to mulch up his leaves, mow over the leaves in his yard. And you know, he told me what the guy had quoted him, or what he had been told by a couple other landscapers. Put a shot of the front right here. Yeah, look at that. Excellent. Anyway, he gave me a quick overview basically of what he was quoted to do the job. And you know, and I was thinking, that's not bad, that's not too unreasonable, it's about what it normally costs, you know. And got me to thinking, why is that? Why is a leaf cleanup more expensive than a good deal, in some cases a good deal more expensive than just, you know, mow, trim, edge, like normal service you would do? Bear with me here, my truck's dirty. But anyway, so why is that? Well, let's just use some numbers here for this property. Let's say, for example, let's say the yard is a $50 yard. So I'm mowing this property for $50. Now, when you do it, typically the way I mow mine, you know, I do mow, edge, trim, blow. I do edge, trim, blow, mow, blow. So I start with the edger, start with the edger, follow up with the trimmer, get everything edged and trimmed, all my lines, everything cut, the perimeters and everything, like obstacle wise, you know, cut around. Then I do the mowing, mow everything, and then blow the sidewalks, you know, make it look good. How your job looks pretty much rests on your BJ, if you know what I mean. Anyway, it rests on how good your cleanup is, you know, how good you can clean up the sidewalks, how good you can make it look like, you know, there's no lawn debris, no ruts in the turf, you know, no things that are tall, you know, that's what it hinges on. So let's say, for example, that property takes me 30 minutes to do. Edge, trim, mow, blow, 30 minutes. Well, when you have to factor in leaves, you start out with the blower. So you blow the stuff from the street into the yard. You blow the stuff from the flower beds out into the yard. You blow the perimeters. Basically, everything gets funneled. Everything gets shunted into the yard. You know, in the backyards too, you blow the perimeters. You blow everything, you know, into the property. Then you take your mower and you mow over that. Now, normal service for a property like that, you're mowing, you know, you're going to be one pass on everything, because, you know, your blades are upkept, you're not scalping, you know, you're going to one pass everything. Well, with leaves, you're talking about probably about 3 passes minimum to cut all those leaves up to get it where looking like it needs to look for, you know, to be presentable. So then 3 passes, sometimes even more than that. You know, that one I just did back there, I'll give you an example. I spent half an hour in that backyard alone just mulching up leaves. So, you know, so then you still have to grab your trimmer and your edger. You may not trim around every single obstacle, but you still have to clean it up to where it looks good. And then you have to blow again to blow the sidewalks and to blow, you know, any residuals, kind of blow the lawn off to make sure there's, you know, all the little particles are dispersed evenly. So you're talking about 3 to 4 times the amount of work for the same property doing a leaf cleanup as you would be doing a traditional, you know, normal service mow. So, you know, 4 times the work, 4 times the time, 3 to 4 times the amount of time it's going to take. Why, realistically speaking, why wouldn't that be 3 or 4 times the cost of a normal property? And if you're bagging up the leaves, let's say you have somebody that wants to bag up the leaves. Okay. If you're bagging a normal yard and it takes 1 to 1.5 to 2 bags, with as many leaves as were just there, you know how many bags that's going to be? You're talking about like 15 bags, maybe 20 bags. The most bags I ever did on a leaf cleanup was, I think, 42. That was a long time ago. I don't do that anymore. I don't bag leaves anymore. But back when I did bag them up like that, I had one that was about 42 bags. But so if you're taking all this into account, the person giving you this price, you know, they're going to charge you for these bags, because these trash bags are not cheap. These big drum liners, you know, they're not cheap bags. So anyway, that's kind of where it ends up, you know, when you're thinking about how much or why is this leaf cleanup that I'm being quoted, you know, 3 or 4 times what it would be to just cut the yard. Well, because it's 3 to 4 times the work, it's going to cost 3 to 4 times as much time. And there's really no way around that, you know, if you want it to look good, if you want the property to be, you know, like a professionally maintained job, that's what it's going to entail. Now, obviously, some people don't care about it professional. You know, if you just want a one-time cut over mulch, I mean, you're still going to have leaves. You're still going to have a lot of leaves. It's really not going to do you any good to do that. It's not going to matter, because, you know, as soon as the wind starts blowing, as soon as anything remotely, you know, happens, you're going to have leaves everywhere again, and it's going to be exactly the way it was before. So this is why, you know, when a lawn person tells you, landscape contractor tells you, you know, it's going to be X number of dollars for a leaf cleanup, don't be surprised if it's, you know, $100, $200, $300, $400, you know, in the hundreds of dollar range, because depending on the scope of the job, it's a lot of work and it's going to take a lot of time. And, you know, that's just the reality of it. That's just the way it is.